Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining our November 2026 uh, Clean Pittsburgh Commission meeting. Um, I will go ahead and start. My name is Amaya Quayle. I am the co-chair of the Clean Pittsburgh Commission, work in the Office of Management and Budget for City of Pittsburgh and live in East Liberty. I will pass it off to Lisa Eberhardt, the other co-chair.
Hi, I am Liz Eberhardt. I am also the program director for Allegheny Cleanways and live in the Perry Hilltop area. I will pass it to Larson.
Hey, I'm Larson. I am the co-treasurer of the Clean Pittsburgh Commission and the collection events coordinator for Pennsylvania Resources Council. I live in Bloomfield and I will popcorn to Helena.
Hello, everybody. I'm Helena Procopio-Ross. I'm the Environmental Enforcement Specialist for the City of Pittsburgh. I live in Brookline and I work for Environmental Services. I will pass it over to Kelsey Ripper.
Morning, everyone. Kelsey Ripper, the Executive Director of Friends of the Riverfront and a resident of Lower Lawrenceville. And I'll pass it to Afton.
Hi, everybody. My name is Afton Giles. I'm the Principal Planner of Sustainability and Resilience for the Department of City Planning, and I am the Treasurer for CPC. I live in Homewood, and I will popcorn it over to Emily.
Hello, everyone. My name is Emily Embry. I am the Safer Together Coordinator for Police Zone 5 in the Department of Public Safety, and I'm a resident of Garfield. And I will popcorn to Deborah.
Good morning. Debbie Steinberg. I'm a Green Sustainability Manager with Carnegie Mellon University. I live in Squirrel Hill. And let's go to Anna.
Anna, if you're speaking, we can't hear you. And that is okay. Technical issues get all of us. I will go ahead and give you some time, and we will go ahead, Pat.
Hi, I'm Pat Kelly. I'm the Director of Programs for River Life. I will send it over to Ben.
Good morning. My name is Ben DeVore. I'm the PennDOT Allegheny County Maintenance Manager. Not sure who to send it to after this.
We'll try Anna again.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. Anna Bagwell, Environmental Enforcement Coordinator for the City of Pittsburgh, Houston Environmental Services, and I am in Upper Lawrenceville.
Awesome. Thank you so much for the introductions, everyone. I will go ahead and pop open the agenda.
If you want to do the minutes, they're uploaded. They're on the drive. If we want to do that, I can share them now.
Yeah, let's go ahead and pull up those minutes. They were shared this morning. So our next step is agenda review and minutes approval. So Debbie, thank you so much for going back and watching the November meeting and getting those minutes written out for us. And yeah, so we'll go kind of slow roll through this. And if anyone sees anything, we can I'm sure Debbie, you do a great job every time. But if anything needs to be corrected, please let us know and we can make those edits and then finalize them. Okay. So that was it on that front. Does anyone have anything that they see that would need to be changed? Okay, I will take the silence as a no. And listen, could you uh okay, so well actually, can I get a motion to seeing that there are no changes that need to be made, or can I get a motion to approve these minutes?
I'll motion.
Motion to approve.
We can have
I'll
first and a
second.
second.
I'll second.
Okay. All right, so Larson, you first, and Alyssa, that was a second.
Hmm.
Okay. All in favor? Oh, wait, I'm sorry. Any abstentions? Okay. All in favor to approve the minutes, virtual, digital, and as well. Okay. Thank you. Those will, oh, we lost Helena and she's coming back. Um, those will be approved and we'll get those posted for the public to see as well as soon as get just edit the title and then get those up onto our city website. So let me go ahead and share my screen. If my There we go. So moving on, I don't know if sharing will work. We'll see. Oh no. Okay, all right. I'm afraid of losing Zoom. My computer is giving me some trouble here today. Um, but yeah, so on to the next item. So yeah, so we are obviously with the new year, we gained a new mayoral administration. Corey O'Connor's new mayor of the city of Pittsburgh, so he's 62nd mayor of the city of Pittsburgh. And so we're working, trying to get ourselves together so that we can, well we are a mayor's commission first and foremost, and we tend to have a representative from the mayor's office on our commission. So we're working diligently to make that a reality. And to start, I am either today or tomorrow, I'll be meeting with a member of the administration to just trying to get us started and try to, first and foremost, try to get a meeting scheduled with either the mayor or a member of the mayor's team, so that we can get our mission aligned with his administration's mission, and also, and also seek someone to join the Clean Pittsburgh Commission. Additionally, if anyone was able to view the inauguration, some keywords were brought up. Given my time in recycling, having known about Red Up and, learning about that history, that was something that Bob O'Connor, his father, had started. So, kind of bringing back that legacy, but also, in preparation for the draft but also long-term beautification for the city of Pittsburgh residents. And, how can we kind of tap into that to bring back the spirit of Red Up and also the Bob Awards named after his late father, Bob O'Connor, and kind of get the mayor's administration, this current administration, back into the Clean Pittsburgh and involved. Yeah, so that's the kind of where we're going. Hopefully we'll have someone joining us, but also we will all, we're kind of needing to be aware of the process in which we would can all be we are all serving to our the terms that we have, but there'll be a new process to kind of get ourselves back into reapply. So I will be able to share that with you guys as well once they have that process laid out and ready to share. But again, I'm hoping to meet with either a member of the mayor's office either today or tomorrow, waiting to hear back on what's the best time. And yeah, that's kind of all I have on the new administration intro. Does anyone have any questions related to that? Kind of went really fast on that. I apologize if it was a little too fast, but does anyone have any questions or any things that they would like to add? No? Okay. Well, if you do have any questions or anything, please just email me and we can share it out. Any things any fact finding that we have, but also if we are able to have a meeting with the the mayor or a member of his staff, and it happens to be in public or not in public, but in person, um, yeah, I will do my best to, well, I will share it with you guys if any of you are able to attend as well. But yeah, that's given that we have no questions on that line item, I'll go ahead and pass it along to Lissa for talking about committees.
Awesome. If you want to stop sharing, I'll share that
I will.
committee document that I've
Yes,
got.
I will. Okay.
Thank you. So to review about committees, we talked about this a bit in December when we met. The idea being that we start adjusting or shifting to a committee-based structure for the commission. This way, the responsibilities will be a little bit dispersed throughout the entire commission. There's different ways that all of us as members can get involved in the capacity that makes sense with our interests and what like our real life jobs allow us to do, and hopefully just kind of transition into what we want the CPC to look like in the future. We reviewed these committees yesterday in our like 2026 prep meeting. Can you see that? Does that look correct? You see
Yeah.
the okay.
Mhm.
I have a million tabs open, so these are just starting off as suggestions based on what Omo and I saw as a need and interest that have come up in conversation over the past few months. So these are very flexible, can change, we can add, subtract, but just wanted to throw this out there as an initial suggestion for what a committee structure could look like. Starting at the top, a basic governance committee. This would include the chairs or someone from the subcommittees to bring in conversations that have happened in their separate meetings to mine and Omo's monthly co-chair check-in. We do that the first Wednesday of every month before this Thursday meeting. That can be adjusted, but just a way to kind of pull all the different groups together, see what's happening, and prep for this Thursday meeting. The next committee would be membership committee. I'm thinking this would likely meet as needed, like Oma was saying yesterday. This would review and interview prospective members, seek out potential candidates for membership, invite potential candidates then to speak at these monthly CPC meetings, create an SOP on approving membership, and oversee appointments through council and mayor's office. I did put this little note here that it should definitely include someone that works in the city county building. We've learned that that can be super helpful in trying to move some of these things along. Just to have someone who can quickly check in and knows who they need to talk to about appointments, because that can get a little dicey in the weeds, just with everything, the city is doing. So this would be a general membership committee. The next already exists. We have a finance committee, but this is expanding upon that and kind of dispersing the load off of Afton, kind of giving her some additional support. So this would be like what happens now, managing CPC finances. But in addition to that, it's finding new opportunities for CPC funds, reviewing funding requests before bringing it to the rest of the commission, and creating, again, an SOP for how we approve spending. So this would be discussing and creating guidelines for what fits into the mission, giving us, just from the jump, if someone requests funding through the CPC, we have these guidelines to determine, is this appropriate, is it not? And then it can, if it is deemed appropriate, then that can go into additional discussion, bringing it to the commission, creating SOP for invoices and purchases, helping with getting those in on time, because Afton, it really all lands on her every September and October. We're kind of panicking, trying to get all that stuff in. So trying to do all of that stuff between now and September, so it's not kind of a mad dash then at the end of October getting into November. The next is, again, something that kind of already exists. We did this almost monthly last year, but expanding and going deeper into Neighborhood of Focus committee. This would be coordinating CPC and member events in the neighborhoods of focus, finding ways to use member connections to bring in new partners and opportunities, providing updates about events in these monthly meetings. I added this specifically because education is going to be a big part of yesterday, those of you who were in the meeting, I had it as a different committee. And based on a little bit of the conversation, I took education out and just added it as a part of the neighborhoods of focus because specifically in the context that I'm talking about, it's the funds that were brought over from last year into this year, specifically dedicated to in-school education in districts 2 and 6, which is the districts that house our neighborhoods of focus. I would also include in here connecting with council reps of those districts. Omo, you started that conversation a little bit already, it sounds like. So it would expanding upon that and getting those council reps involved, seeing what they have as far as input on what we could be doing in those areas. And then the last one, which is the least thought out, because we don't have anything like this. And I think there's a lot of room to create whatever we think makes sense and what we envision it to be, but an advocacy committee. So that would be coordinating advocacy and community education initiatives, coordinating opportunities for speaking engagements with communities based on the topics that we are trying to advocate for, or learning what residents in our neighborhoods of focus are hoping to get additional support on for advocacy. So I think this one could be pretty broad. There's a lot of flexibility here to turn it into whatever we want. But this is what we had in mind for a general structure for these committees. Again, nothing is laid out in stone. This lives in the drive. So if you go into the drive, there's now a new folder that says committees on it. And this is the only doc in there, but I wanted to make sure it was easy for everybody to find. So feel free to go in, take a look, make notes, write your opinions on there. But that's what I was thinking. I'm going to stop sharing it now if everyone wants to take a look on their own in the drive. But wanted to open up for discussion, see what everyone is thinking. If we wanted to start maybe even raising hands for committees that folks would be interested in. And so we can just from the jump, get the ball rolling on getting that established. So the floor is open.
Yeah, and I did want to add that if you looked at the notes from yesterday, I did add a link to that document in that this pre-planning meeting for January. So I'm still working on getting everyone access to the drive. It's not that hard, but I just want to make sure that everyone has access to the rights drive so that we're not all looking through a bunch of stuff. But yeah, and I wanted to kind of double back on like the advocacy component. So like back in the day before we had the bag ban, right? Like that was something that, we were able as a commission through our literati subscription, gaining information through, all the bags that were out in the environment. That was, kind of a pivotal point, like a data point on passing a bag ban, just like, a visual observation of bags in our communities, and in our national environment. And, that's part, like we have advocating for ourselves as commission, but also advocating for causes and policy. And, advocacy, while we don't have a commission on it, that's been kind of a long history of the Clean Pittsburgh mission and kind of one of our missions as a commission is to advocate for the environment and for the people that live in the city, for cleaner environments. And yeah, I would like to see maybe by our February meeting, perhaps if people are interested in taking on specific roles, not maybe leading or just kind of having a minor leadership role in hosting a committee, so that we could, kind of like Lissa said, spread out some of the responsibility, and not have, all fall on the shoulders of, a couple of people. I have some cat acrobatics, excuse me. And yeah, so yeah, that's kind of my feedback on that. Like I said, advocacy is something we already do, but if we can kind of, another thing we're hoping with the budget passing last year to have an actual some assistance, some admin assistance through the anti-litter department. And that was something that we advocated for at the post agenda last year in October, for that need it's been a long time we've been asking for it, dire need for admin support for the commission, and advocating for ourselves pays off. So if we can do more of that to ask directly for what we need, that's what the advocacy committee is for. But yeah, that's I'll leave that there. If anyone else has any feedback. No? Oh, okay. Helena, go ahead.
Yeah, I think it makes the most sense for me to be on the well, I guess then are we doing away with the outreach committee and just relabeling it advocacy committee? Because I think it makes the most sense for me to be advocacy then.
I agree that it makes the most sense for you to be advocacy. I
Because,
don't
yeah,
think
because I'm
though.
already doing all these I'm already trying my best to reach out to community groups and trying to revamp school outreach if my supervisors will let me. I don't know, but we'll see.
I do think those are two separate things, though. Tell me if you are thinking differently, but in my mind, thinking of you as like the outreach chair, um, that's a lot of also managing the social media, managing the website. It's kind of that back end stuff. So the advocacy then comes in with this like going out into community going. So it's similar, but slightly separate roles.
Got it. Got it. Okay.
Yeah, and also, it's not necessarily committee related, but that was something that we're trying to, kind of dial in on how we share out. And perhaps that could be, we have a separate meeting to jumpstart a new process that we're envisioning. And then, with the as the years well as the meetings come and go and people share out the results of some of the work that they've been able to do on behalf of the commission, but are also directly related just to the work that they're doing in the city of Pittsburgh, and also about upcoming work. We can kind of get back into both reporting out, which is something that we are to be doing as a commission, and also sharing out upcoming opportunities for people to get involved with member organizations and their the work that they do in the city. Deborah?
Thanks. Just to reiterate, like it makes sense that the outreach chair is looking at the social media, but we have been calling that an outreach committee. So are we missing that in the current structure, or should we just make a note to put that under advocacy or put that under governance
Yeah,
or something else?
I maybe I don't know if it was on the page yesterday, but maybe it's gone missing. But like I thought maybe there might have been an outreach committee, but maybe I kind of got my wires crossed there.
I did not have that on.
Okay, you did not. Okay, so I must have been.
In my mind, I was thinking that outreach was more of a chair position because that's how for
Yes,
the past year
got
it
it.
has been operating. Helena
Hmm.
has been like a one-woman show, reaching out to Omo for input and stuff.
Hmm.
Um, so it hasn't been acting like a committee. So maybe advocacy and outreach, it kind of just like Helena then was saying, it melds into one thing
Hmm.
with Helena leading it.
Hmm.
So
Um,
to clarify, so calling calling kind of named positions maybe officer roles. So we have like an outreach officer, just to get the nomenclature kind of consistent. So as we have like a treasurer, which is an officer kind of thing, like that.
That makes sense.
And then we can maybe say that the outreach officer serves on, whatever committee.
Yeah.
Helena, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm thinking like the outreach committee, like Alyssa said, to be more of like the Facebook graphic design, potential newsletter in the future, making sure I don't forget to update the website and and also helping on creation of the annual report, things like that. And then the advocacy committee can be the actual advocating for what we want for the CPC and policies we want passed. Is that the agreement of the group of like two like distinct committees structures?
We can yeah, like Lissa said, we can this is malleable. There's some things that we want to be, to actually exist, and we're open to other
Mhm.
suggestions. And I think an outreach, um yeah, like I that could be, another committee that could exist. We are so like yeah, so we can add that, and then if you are interested in, just kind of let us know. I will do like an email to seek, interest in the various committees that we're hoping to have started, and then, depending on how that goes, hopefully we'll have something that we can, establish in a way. Um,
Well, and that can be
by
done in the first meeting too, Helena,
Yeah,
to kind of go more into your question. Like
yeah.
in the first meeting, if we start even just with these basic committees, the first meeting should be establishing what that means. There's some points here to draw from, but
Yeah.
differentiating your role as the outreach officer compared to the advocacy or outreach type like
Hmm.
committee. It would be
Mhm.
creating that whole structure on what that means and what the
Oh,
differences.
yeah. Okay. Mhm.
So
Based
sorry,
on the
just
bylaws, what's already written.
just to clarify that. So not an outreach committee and an advocacy committee, but we will just have advocacy committee, and then the outreach chair is responsible for the Facebook, the website, graphic design, and those duties, if then delegated to others, would maybe fit under one of the proposed committees, not an outreach committee. Because even on the agenda, like
Mhm.
number 6 says outreach committee.
Yeah.
So just like looking at the
That's where I read it.
nomenclature,
Okay.
That makes sense.
yeah.
Um,
So no more outreach committee, or
I
yes, keep.
I think that should be I don't want to make that decision just like saying it right now. I think maybe can
How
that
about,
one of go ahead.
I was just going to say, Helena, do you want help by committee members? Because that was part of this. The
Hmm.
proposal is for people who need help.
Well, yeah, I think it makes sense
Hmm.
to like yeah, definitely because with how just for kind of splitting up the load and so I don't forget about updating things. I mean, even I forgot to update the website for putting on the October minutes and you know. But yeah, I think we should double check our bylaws to see if we want to make the outreach coordinator or outreach officer to be under the advocacy committee. Because then people who are on advocacy committee, if they want to additionally help with, if they're familiar, if somebody is more familiar than with, like Adobe Photoshop or something, and they can mess around and help in that way, and especially, I think, and and so that way I can be kind of like putting since I work for the city and I can easily access the website. If someone that's like someone who works at one of these nonprofits here, but they're more savvy with different graphic design software or how to like
Hmm.
format a newsletter, then they can kind of shuffle that info to me and I can put it up on the website like easy peasy, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I think, you know, I think we would probably it probably might be a good idea to have, because like currently it is Helena doing stuff, and then she reaches out to me, and, like, we could have, we want to expand on, sharing out and stuff like that, and having, a difference between, just kind of sharing out some results, and also a difference between, when also like sharing out about upcoming opportunities, and, really harnessing the, our Facebook page, to, share out what ACW is doing, Friends, River Life, all the different, PRC, all the different membership organizations. So I we're not necessarily bound by we don't have to, well, we're free to create these committees as needed. So I think it's a good idea to do so for the outreach committee. And
I just
yeah,
pulled up
so
the
okay.
bylaws to reference
Awesome.
to, it's actually, we've been saying it wrong. It's not committee, it's coordinator, outreach coordinator, and this is
Okay.
what is specifically in the bylaws for
Okay.
that position.
Yeah.
This is reference.
But if we wanted the community to support this, we could. That's all I'm saying. Because yeah, I guess the nomenclature was escaping us. But yeah, she's the outreach coordinator. Helena is our outreach coordinator. And in order to kind of support her work in managing what the input we provide as a commission, perhaps a committee might not be a bad idea to help her, bring things together and format and get things out. So we don't need to vote on anything, but uh, yeah. So
Oh, question.
is that Debbie? Does that sound good?
I'm leaving it as a TBD.
Yes. Okay.
So I think that once the committees start thinking about what they're doing, and then Helena, if you want to expand about stuff,
Hmm.
that makes sense. So just in the notes, I'm just saying like potential to add a outreach
Yeah.
committee.
Yeah, and then I also think whenever the operations coordinator gets selected, I guess then would the co-chairs, well, I guess would I funnel all my questions to them rather than the co-chairs?
Let's not
We don't
even
know.
think about
But,
that
but
right
We
yeah,
now.
like
don't know.
not even go there. But
Yeah, yeah. Give us some
yeah.
time. That position has not even been, I don't know if there's a job description yet. Maybe there is, but like, that's, we have no idea just yet. So let's give it some time for that to develop. And then we can, as that, we get an idea of job description, what they're intending to actually have underneath that position. We can go from there. Um,
And quickly before we move on, sorry to interrupt. In looking at the officer position bylaws, the
mhm.
secretary is supposed to be helping to post the approved minutes to the website. So Helena, we can work on a good way to like collaborate on that. So
Yeah,
I
yeah,
can support that just to
yeah.
as I'm noticing.
Uh, Awesome. Yeah, so we did like a small sprint to get caught up last year. And yeah, like it was just all about changing file names and all that stuff. But yeah, like we can, you know, get all yes. Thank you, Debbie. Always good to read the bylaws, to
Right.
remind ourselves.
When we send
Um,
out the email about committees, we should include a copy of the bylaws because I'm always forgetting the details of them. So we'll include that. We'll send that out to you.
awesome. Um, well, I guess we kind of bled into this bullet point. The next one, number 6, was outreach coordinator. Which,
Oh, we missed. Wait, hold on. We skipped finance.
oh, oh, that's right. Yeah, finance committee. My apologies. Afton, do you have anything to start us out with in this new year?
Sure. So let me share my screen. Share. Okay. So we have, oh, is it sharing? Okay, there it is. All right. So we are back to our initial of having $30,000. Yay. So we have that to spend. We haven't made any decisions on anything yet. These are just the two potential carryovers that we were
Mhm.
sort of in the midst of discussing possibly putting money towards. It doesn't really, these numbers don't mean anything right now, other than this is just what we were discussing towards the end of last year. So we were discussing $22,000 to potentially budget towards yard sign litter and dumping awareness at
I can tell you right now, we can get rid of that. Barb
okay.
Warwick and I have talked about alternatives for that. So.
Okay, cool. All right, so that's gone. And the other one we were talking about was $5,000 for supplies for Little Library for community groups. those are the only, like I said, potential carryovers that were sort of in discussion towards when we closed up our books at the end of last year. Other than that, oh yes.
I also, wow, excuse me. I also wanted to, I think you might have been on that email. I could double check, but in the hustle and bustle of closing the books last year, we got a reassurance from the I guess finance manager of DPW that we are able to have access to the remainder of the funds last year in order to put those specifically towards education and outreach efforts in the neighborhood of focus.
Oh,
And we're hoping to utilize that. It was like $11,000. Hoping to utilize it to bring in, I think it was we should probably get them on to come talk to us, and the grant balloons in addition with working with the Pittsburgh Public Schools, working with Allegheny Cleanways and PRC with the in-class education on with students. Students are our future. So making sure they have an education on litter and recycling, all that stuff. And yeah, so
I
that
switched to the
was
2025 budget.
go ahead.
I switched to the 2025 budget to see where we're carrying this over from.
Yeah, so
Um,
scroll all the way to the end. It was like a number at the end of your spreadsheet here, and scroll up. Yeah, so yeah, okay, so $12,000.
I don't think it was that much though. I think it was
I
11.
I think it was $11, that $11,000. So we'll have to
I can look at the
edit that.
invoice.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so something that page
I'll
that.
I'll get
Mhm.
the invoice. Afton, actually, you were on the initial email for the invoice and then almost sent it over to when you were trying to send it to whoever you knew, DPW. So I can resend that invoice, Afton, if you want to just have it as reference.
Okay, yeah, that would be really helpful just to make sure that I have it somewhere. Okay, and I'll make sure that that gets added. So then we'll have what is it, 41,000 if that's like 11,000 added to it.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
then we'll be able, and I'll make sure that that's reflected
Yes.
in 2020. Okay, not a problem.
Awesome. Thank you. And yeah, okay, so do you have anything else to share?
No, I know that there was some discussion over possibly funding some more of the Bagoo bags, which people really loved. I know we were able to hand those out as part of our outreach, so I know that was something that we were talking about. I was able to get those some of the previous quotes that I had, so that we can maybe make some decisions on whether or not that's something we want to fund this year. And looking forward to continuing as treasurer. So that's it
Yeah,
for me.
yeah. Awesome. And to return to our well, first to return to our brief discussion about committees, ed, we need, it is Afton and Larson and often myself and Melissa and some, sometimes other people step in, but we would like for you, everyone to step in and start making requests, start coming up with ideas, because it's one thing to have money. I guess it's another thing to spend it, especially in the context of being, with working with the city, who has the money, right? Due to all the different constraints that the city places around spending money, rightfully so. But we have to navigate within that context. So I would appreciate if given our next meeting, I think it's usually the Tuesday before our Thursday meeting. We kind of get an idea of what to bring to the table on that Thursday meeting. So please do come and discuss, bring quotes, whatever you have in order to, see how we can move along with spending the money. Secondly, I do have extra bagoos that I've been meaning to bring down to environmental services. They're just like literally under my couch, nice and safe. So no, the bagoos are nice. Keep those things safe. So yeah, I will make a best effort to get them closer to environmental services so that you can have them, Helena. And yeah, so yeah, Helena, go ahead.
Sorry, just so I'm clear for the finance part of things. So we have 30,000 to spend for this year, like automatically, and then we also have the 11,000 or so for the outreach and education
Neighborhoods
from
of
From last
last
year.
focus.
last year,
Mhm,
correct?
mhm, mhm.
Got it.
Yeah.
And yeah, we're still, we're having meetings and whatnot with Sanjeev's team and then Lissa to
Mhm.
figure out if we even want to include the Grand Falloons in this whole,
Yeah.
you know,
So when the meeting, Helena, that you coordinated,
yeah.
apologies for my confusion in that
No, no,
email.
no, no,
I
no.
got
Yeah.
so lost.
Yeah, because
But
my team, we're also kind of new and we want to see where Pittsburgh Public Schools at for sustainability and recycling and what
yep.
how we can improve their whole like whatever they're doing now. And
Yeah.
then we can talk about education at the schools with
That'll be a separate
a
a separate meeting.
separate
Yeah,
thing.
yeah. So your meeting is
Okay.
specifically about schools, the recycling program with the schools and such.
Yeah.
Then when Sanjeev gets back, I believe he said he's going to be back in town after the 15th. I'll reach out to him and coordinate a meeting with whomever here is interested. And he has specific people from the public schools that he's going to pull in. We're going to start the process of what it's going to take to get our education coordinator into the public schools, because he said that there's a whole thing to do, and something about it with it being an in-kind donation technically to the Pittsburgh public schools, what that all entails. So that will happen. And he said that when we talked in December, he said that it was going to be like a 5-week process. So likely it'll be that getting in at the end of this year and then fall of next year when the school year starts again. So it'll be spread out, but that'll be completely separate from the conversation that you're going to have with them
Yeah.
at the end of the month.
Yeah. All right. I just wanted to make sure that was like my
Yeah.
my thoughts on things and like and how many Bagoo bags would you say you have, Omo, on left over?
I think around, oh, it's like 20 to 30 perhaps.
Okay.
I haven't actually counted. So it's not the most, but I mean those
Yeah,
things are
'cause
expensive,
I
so
have about like 30 or so left from last year.
okay.
Yeah, because I'm gonna message the contact you gave me, Afton, and ask her. So like if the CPC wanted to fund more Bagoo bags for, because I really like they are hotcakes at farmers markets whenever I table there, because I'm like, oh, you came to a farmers market? Here's a Bagoo bag from the CPC, and before you get one, you have to play my recycling game. And they're like, oh, okay. And so, but yeah, those are really good items to have at the table. But I was wondering, so like, do we want to, pay for like the Bagoo bags to have like our new CPC design that like the little graphic I created that was like supposed to be like a magnet or whatnot, or
If I
Yeah,
would
I
suggest,
think we
before
should.
we
yeah,
go too deep into this, I think this should be maybe a finance.
fine. Okay, well,
yes. Yes.
all right.
So
Sorry.
Awesome.
I did have one more. Well, so Debbie had her hand up, but then I also had one
Yeah.
more thing to say. That just remind everybody that I have to have everything in by October. So
Hmm.
whatever we're gonna remember to keep in mind that October is our deadline because we have to vote on everything at the November meeting just to be able to close everything out. So and even that kind of got a little bit. I feel like they closed books even earlier this year because I think of the change in administration. So
Mm-hmm.
October is our set point. And also remember that for P card purchases is the preferred way for the city to pay, and I'm the P card holder, so that's why I'm the treasurer. In terms of how we're able to do that, I can't do anything over $5,000, and it has to be a one-time and one-time only per year invoice that I can pay out against. So just keep that in mind when you guys are submitting requests. And that's it for me. And I'll hand it over to Debbie because she had her hand up for a while.
Thank you. I just wanted to remember that I had a question. So the piggybacking off of that, the suggestion was to have requests in for a vote at our meeting by just the Tuesday before or the week before Tuesday.
So the finance committee
So just
meeting
like,
is the Tuesday before, is always the Tuesday before the CPC meeting. So if you have
okay,
it
so
into
just
me
like,
by then, or if you come to the meeting, that's fine too. So I sent out a request to everybody. You don't have to accept the request. I just wanted everybody to have it on their calendar just in case they need to pop in. So they just know that they can hit that Teams button and join us if they need to pop in. So, and if you want to email it to me ahead of time or Omo or anybody else ahead of time, that's fine too.
And then quickly off of that, are proposals restricted to just DPC members, or who can propose funding? And then what is the process for those people?
No, not necessarily. In the past, we have received requests from external parties. They were more uh, there were issues, but not in the like just accepting proposals from external parties. It was kind of it's difficult to move money outside of the city sometimes, but it was like beautify like the kind of Love Your Block adjacent, some mini grants for beautification. And I think our it was like $500 or so. But you can't just go ahead and give someone $500. It has to be like I think it was like gift cards, but even that was just difficult. So yeah, this is why we need a standard operating procedures.
Okay, so this will be like detailed by the finance committee so that we could potentially expand our funding opportunities. Okay.
Yeah, and yeah.
Thank you.
Emily.
This is unrelated to finance and I apologize, but I'm just confused. Are we like just determining today what committee we want to join? Or are we emailing you? How are we doing that? I might have missed that. Sorry.
You're fine. No, I'm gonna send out an email with all the committees listed and seeking, if you see one that you would like to join, just respond like, oh, I want to join finance committee or or what advocacy committee, whatever committee that you find interest alignment with in your role at your job or just interest and personally as well. So yeah, I will be sending an email out to seek interest from individuals who would like to help in the committees.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you for the question. Returning back to finance committee, does anyone have any questions before we move on to the next line item? Okay. Seeing that there are no lingering questions about finance committee, I guess we can move on to we're returning back to specifically outreach coordinator Helena. Yeah, so like what do we want the CPC outreach to look like this year? I've kind of shared out kind of what I feel like we would, what I feel I would like to see. But I'm not the outreach coordinator, but and then how we can best share out updates from membership orgs, DPW, environmental services, all sorts of things. But yeah, I give you the floor to discuss if you have any, feelings about that.
I think, I was just thinking about, maybe like once a month I email everybody and say, hey, what are some stuff on your guys' event calendar that I can post on the CPC Facebook? Any opportunities, like, I don't know if you guys have a position that's open that you need filled to put it on the CPC Facebook. Once a month, just reaching out again to see what's going on and what things you want to highlight, or even if the PRC has a hard recycle collection event that they don't have a lot of people signed up for, to kind of reiterate that, to kind of get it out there, or should it be more often? Every 2 weeks, what are your guys' thoughts on something like that to kind of keep me on the ball of things?
Would it be helpful, Helena, if we did do like an outreach committee, even if it's just a one-time meet, to have a more in-depth conversation?
Yeah.
Maybe even set
like
thinking
how
of
there's
like
like a
Cleanways. Yeah, our outreach coordinator, he sets just a calendar for the year of all the things he's going to do in different times. So that way we can like set different goals and on different dates post what to kind of give you some structure so you don't have to just kind of come. Obviously you would have to still like reach out and get updates monthly,
Yeah.
but kind of gives you a little bit more of a guideline to follow so you don't have to do just guessing. throughout the year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea. Like we can preset like, specific dates in which we will, be sending out updates and just kind of following that schedule, sourcing, information from membership organizations to fill those moments in time when we'll be sending out outreach. So yeah, no, I think that's a good idea. Yeah, okay, personally.
Mhm. Yeah, but starting with, um, you know, forwarding on events that are happening with member organizations and whatever else is related, as things come up. I think that's a great place to start, is to just get the ball rolling with sending out those monthly emails saying, hey, what do you guys want on the Facebook?
Mhm.
What events do you have? We can send you links, articles, whatever that is. Um, I know with Anna, we were talking about sharing more, and we were talking about this yesterday. Um, when we did the post agenda meeting back in October, the amount of stuff I learned that was happening with DPW and the new litter enforcers was crazy. Sharing more of that information out, and with Anna knowing all the details of that, she can share that with you, if that makes sense, and just blasting out more stuff about what not only us as a commission and the members are doing, but what the city is doing. I think that would go a long way with just highlighting all the stuff the city is already doing that most folks, I think, don't know about.
Yeah, especially with the NFL draft happening in April, I should definitely have a like scheduled blast in place so that
Mhm.
way, like every week coming up to the draft, people know how, like if they want to assist with redding up the city, they know where to do that. Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. And then
Awesome.
question two for you guys. Regarding the annual report for 2025, should I should probably start, well, I should probably definitely start collecting looking at all the minutes and making something, a nice design of what we've accomplished and everything, and getting
Yeah.
that website, because at least last year we did really well with organizing everything and you know kind of getting at least that foundation set up to make an annual report.
Yeah. Yeah, I think, in years past, like our annual report was maybe like a one pager both sides. And I think as we kind of ramp up back into, issuing such a document, I think we could start with, kind of discussing like our, first efforts on the, first half of our neighborhood of focus program, and kind of pull out some of the highlights of some of the minutes from last year of what we're able to accomplish as a commission, and kind of just start there as a first start, and perhaps have it issued. I uh I don't know, like by the middle of the year. I think that would be a great first start to getting back on the ball of our annual report game. So,
Yeah. And,
um,
and and who has the stats from Garbage Olympics? Is it Chris or do we have it in our drive?
I have
oh,
them.
Oh, there you go. Okay. So
Yeah.
yeah,
yeah,
we'll get that going so we can
hmm yeah,
2025.
If you want to send out an email specifically for that, because a lot of us will probably have stuff to report, PRC's event, the
hmm
Garbage Olympics, Cleanways, cleanups, Friends with Color Park, all the
yeah,
stuff that was related to CPC, either Neighborhoods of Focus or CPC funded. If you want
hmm
to shoot out an email to everybody, we can then reply with like a brief report on what we did.
stats.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. That'd be really helpful. Okay. Yeah, sounds good, guys. Appreciate it.
Awesome. Awesome. Yeah. So this makes me so happy. All right. Yeah. Thank you so much, Helena, for heading up our outreach coordinator position. Very grateful for your outreach prowess. Um,
I just like
uh,
I just like to talk. So I hope I don't come across as like but that's just how I operate.
It's all good. We accept you. All right. So, given that we have we're moving on from outreach coordinator. We do have membership organization updates. I know it's the beginning of the year, but I'm sure a lot of us have great things planned. Our organizations have great things planned for 2026. So I'll open up the floor for yeah, for all that wants to share. Okay, Helena, go ahead.
Sorry, just me just thinking of things. Um, so you guys probably know that Pittsburgh, we got the Swiffer grant. Yay. So we got, we got to get that ball rolling and,
Where
just,
does the money come from? Who does the money come from?
oh, yeah, EPA.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So 1.6 million to modernize our yard waste collection. Um, and with an intern helping with all of that, and also recycle coach hopefully as well, and for the city to utilize. And then, well, once the funding for the grant is up, then it'll be up to city council if they want to continue funding recycle coach and all of that. But it's really, but we're excited, and that's kind of the big hot news because we didn't know we were going to get it until like the very end of December. And so we're just getting ramped up on that, and we are starting. Well, we're gonna, we have outreach, updating our outreach coming up with our 902 grant with the Eastern Research Group. And so we're excited about that. We got a lot of fun things happening over here in recycling. And I've also been trying to think of what projects I can give myself for education and whatnot, and how to like bolster up my prowess for education and whatnot. And I've come across this association. If I think Pittsburgh Parks Conservancy is familiar with the Pennsylvania Association of Environmental Educators, and they have a pretty cool program that it's actually one of the very few nationally accredited and certifications for environmental educators. So me and Anna are thinking about proposing to our supervisors to apply to that and do like some sort of project and get certified in that, because that would be a more affordable way to bolster our resumes and become experts in the craft of community education with environmental stuff. So if anybody in your organizations would benefit from that, I would highly recommend checking that out because it's pretty cheap to apply. It's only $165 to start the certification, and seems like a good program. So that's what kind of I've been dabbling in at the start of, so anyway.
Helena,
Awesome.
if you want to talk to someone, you and Anna, our current education coordinator is certified and I believe is actually a board member there.
Oh,
so I would be happy to connect you guys with him if you want to talk to him more about his experience with that.
Yeah, because we're kind of gathering all of our bits and bobs on convincing our supervisors to let us do that. So,
I think it would be very helpful. I think it would be
yeah.
very helpful in the outreach efforts of the environmental services. So, cool. Is that's it?
Can I just ask, Helena, you had
Oh.
I was not aware of the landscape collection grant that's your yard waste. That's great.
Yard waste, yeah.
So I guess like do you know what it is that that program's going to be looking at or doing? Could you just explain that a little bit more?
So as of right now, we do a biannual yard waste pickup, and we proposed to the EPA to give us some money regarding to two designated trucks to do scheduled curbside yard waste pickups, so that way residents can they don't, so that way we don't have to rely on the trees to drop the leaves, and also for the year-round vegetation that occurs, especially even that freak storm we had last year with all the yard waste suddenly dropping everywhere. So that's why my previous supervisor applied for that grant regarding the yard waste, scheduling it so that way the city can ultimately save a lot more money and also increase the residents' access.
Participation.
It's kind of like the expansion of the program to kind of like modernize it and not just relying on only 2 days. Um, and then also like, designating key personnel to do that. Um, and so that's why we desperately need to update the yard waste program for the city because because this was a great like step, like a toe dip into the water to um to start with our existing yard waste, leaf and brush and whatnot. So like eventually to
Mhm.
tackle the big compost question that the city
Mhm.
has. But
Yeah.
that but that's way down the line. So this was a nice first step that my supervisor applied for this grant.
Okay, great. Thank you. That's helpful for that.
And also like
Also,
this. Oh, go ahead. No, sorry. Yeah, well, I just wanted to say that this city of Pittsburgh, the two collections that we happen to do are like the state mandated bare minimum. So there's much more that we can do to improve on our collection efforts of leaf debris and yard waste. So, but yeah, Deborah.
I was just gonna say that's amazing and awesome. I'm super excited. That's all.
Yeah. And as my position in procurement, I'll be helping, procure
It's,
that.
it's,
So
it's
I'm
gonna
very
it's gonna
excited as
it's gonna
well.
take some yeah, it's gonna
Yeah,
take some time. It's not gonna be like, oh, this year. We gotta like, it's gonna take
the
some
long
time.
run.
Yeah.
All right. Anyone else wants to step up to the mic?
I can just say Cleanways, we're still doing our weekly cleanups. We still have our Pittsburgh-based team out, so between now and through the end of March, we have a crew that is out 2 to 3 days a week, weather permitting, in some neighborhood in Pittsburgh. We're still doing once a week in the neighborhoods of focus. I believe we're moving on to Crafton Heights this month, I believe, or potentially wrapping up Elliott, one of those two. We're still over there on the West End. And then the last neighborhood that will be hit in March likely will be Marshall Shadeland. So that's still happening. In addition to, we're still working in the north side and roughly District 3-ish area based on what we can find. So please definitely join if you want to be out in the cold and pick up garbage.
Awesome. Anyone else have anything they'd like to share out? That's fair. It's the beginning of the year. We're all getting our bearings. I feel like the beginning, the placement of that date, Thursday, just kind of left. I don't know, I was a little shook somehow. Well, thank you so much for everyone to attend who, all able to attend our first meeting of the year. I look forward to sending a lot of emails. And also hearing back from you guys as far as our newly established committee structure in order to make sure that we're more efficient as a commission and having everyone involved. And yeah, Alyssa, do you have anything else to share? And or else we can go ahead and make a motion to adjourn. Go ahead.
I've got nothing to share. This was great.
Okay.
Good first meeting.
Okay. I'll call for a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
Okay. Cool.
Right.
All in favor? Awesome. Thank you guys so much for attending. And I look forward to communicating with you guys on email, and I look forward to seeing you in February.